The demon continues to haunt them, sending everyone into a state of fear and causing chaos. Welcome to the ENERGUMEN Episode 9. Don't forget to like, share, and drop your comments.
I don't care about your beliefs, Jude. I don't care what you worship or how you see the world. You and your family are in serious danger. Aunt Agnes raged, her voice filled with fury. She had walked a long distance, drenched in the pouring rain, just to warn my father. This meant the situation was dire. Her wet clothes clung to her as she bounced with uncontrolled emotion. She spun toward my mother. Why don't you take charge of your home? Do you think what happened to your family in the city, forcing you to move back here, was normal? Your husband abandoned his father without traditional recognition, without honoring him for 24 years. And you thought he just woke up and decided to come back now? One evil spirit attracts others. One evil being gives birth to more, leading to chains of sudden bad occurrences. I have warned him as a brother, and as I step out of this house, anything that happens is on you. She turned to leave, but Mom held her by the hands, tears streaming down her face. Mom's cries seemed to calm Aunt Agnes slightly, though her fury still simmered. Dad spoke calmly. Agnes, can we please sit and talk this out? He led the way, with a visibly confused Rosemary trailing. Mom gently guided Aunt Agnes to the living room. She sat on a plastic chair, avoiding the cushions due to her wet clothes. Just then, the electricity returned, and Rosemary shouted, "Light!" I quickly switched on the security lights in the compound before sitting down. Dad then told Aunt Agnes about the electrician's apparition, which had stopped after his burial. He spoke of the strange noises he heard nightly and, most importantly, about Junior's terrifying dreams. Aunt Agnes began to weep softly, shaking her head. "So, what have you done about all this?" she asked. "We took Junior to church," Mom replied, "and the pastor told us to call him if Junior reacted the same way again." Aunt Agnes paused, looking at Junior. "How big is the snake?" she inquired. "It's a python, Aunt." "So huge, the biggest snake I've ever seen in real life or movies." Junior responded, his voice trembling. "That's very strange," Aunt Agnes mused. "Seeing apparitions of the huge python you mentioned is only experienced by those who have come in contact with it. From your description, that's how the native snake deity of this land looks. It's truly strange that you're witnessing such events. This requires the attention of the village chief priest. Either you came into contact with it, or you crossed its path. Legend says she sometimes transforms into a lady and roams the forest. She talks to no one, and no one talks to her. Though I haven't witnessed this, every legend has an origin, and origin comes from occurrence. I told you earlier, Jude, one evil brings another. It's like a continuous chain. And I'm so sure your financial predicament isn't natural. We need to seek solutions." Aunt Agnes finished speaking, her voice firm. A tense silence filled the room. Junior looked terrified and nervous. Rosemary had fallen asleep as the rain continued to pour heavily outside. Mom got up, took an umbrella from behind the cushion, and Dad asked, "Where are you going?" "Let me go check on the chicks and make sure they have enough heat for the night," she replied. We watched her put on a raincoat and walk out into the stormy night with the umbrella.
I walked out of the room, pushing the door slightly open. The heavy touch of cold air hit my body, and I shivered. The wind howled, pushing the rain with force. It was a very cold, rainy night, and the ground was soaked. I noticed the water outlet by the fence needed adjustment to prevent the compound from flooding. Quickly, I put on bathroom slippers and walked toward the poultry house. The chicks were quiet. seemingly undisturbed by the storm, huddled together around the lamps for warmth, their temperature a steady 20 degrees Celsius. I carefully replaced the lids, secured the farm, and turned to go back inside. Then I saw him. A man stood near the visitor's room window, staring down my path. I froze, watching the figure, unbothered by the rain or the strong wind. A wave of nausea, dizziness, washed over me. Lightning flashed, illuminating the area in brief, stark bursts. I noticed that when the light shone, the figure disappeared, only to reemerge immediately when the darkness returned. I held my flashlight, too scared to shine on the image, and too terrified to turn my gaze away. It was a battle of stares. Finally, I mustered enough courage. With a swift movement, I pointed the light directly at it. Nothing. The rain beat down on my exposed hands, making me shiver violently. Blood of Jesus, blood of Jesus. I muttered repeatedly. The bigger challenge was moving back to the entrance and getting inside. Fear gripped me, but I needed to go indoors. I redirected the torchlight toward the door to find my way. After just 3 steps forward, I impulsively looked back. There he was again, staring at me. I froze in my tracks. This was becoming intense, and I hated it. I looked at the door, then back at him. He wasn't moving, not shaking, just standing there, watching. Maybe he won't harm me. I thought, ghosts have targets, right? They don't just haunt everyone. Maybe I should just act like I didn't see him and move on. My eyes fixed on him. I took 3 more steps, and then the worst happened. He started moving slowly towards me. I quickly pointed the flashlight at him, and he wasn't there. Readjusting the light, I realized he was now too close. He was moving toward me even when the light was on him, just as I felt him upon me. The cold hands of death, the cold hands of dead, an evil being who refused to rest. The door opened. Romeo stood there, pointing his own light at me. "Mom, what are you doing out there? Aren't you coming in?" he asked. Suddenly, a surge of strength. I ran back into the house, Romeo following close behind. I ripped off the raincoat, dropped the umbrella, and stumbled into the living room. "What took you so long?" my husband asked. Tears flowed down my cheeks as he stood up and held me. My sister-in-law, Aunt Agnes, asked, "What is it? What's the problem? Why are you crying?" Romeo explained. I saw her standing in the rain, looking so scared and shivering. "Babe, something is wrong. Something is wrong in this house." I sobbed. My husband was losing patience. He wanted to know, but I was still processing the horrifying events. I saw a man standing just outside as I was heading back into the house. He was there, and then suddenly he wasn't. I was so scared I couldn't even shout or move. I tried walking back, and he started coming for me. "Babe, he wanted to hurt me, I swear it." "Can you describe him?" my husband pressed. "Was he holding anything? A hammer? Was he wearing boots?" It wasn't the electrician. It wasn't the electrician, babe. I choked out. "Yes, I've seen him a couple of times. Once, I saw his figure from my window, and the second time, he was walking through the house toward the visitor's room." "You never told me you were experiencing such paranormal activity," my husband shouted, his voice laced with frustration. "I thought you hadn't seen anything. Even when I told you about my own experiences, you acted like you had no clue what I was talking about." Truth be told, I had seen the electrician the night he died, walking around the compound. That's why I'd chosen to sleep in Rosemary's room. I never wanted to share the ordeal, fearing it would scare the family. That first night, I presumed he was just restless from his painful demise. But this was different. This wasn't the electrician. This was another being, from another dimension, a little bit shorter and looking truly, truly dangerous. My husband took the flashlight from me and walked out, followed by Aunt Agnes and my 2 boys. I held on to Rosemary as she slept. They soon stepped back into the sitting room, looking disappointed. They hadn't seen anyone outside. I knew they believed me. They believed what I told them I saw, and they wished to see it too. But they hadn't, and everyone was angry, sad, and terrified.